Well, hey folks, Smudge here again. It's been a crazy week, and we're just going batty. Yep, Monday night, my peoples are hosting the Goin Batty channel. Family of 6 out of southwestern Ohio. They make all kinds of videos, cooking, do-it-yourself, learning along the way. So I reached out in their bag, grabbed 5 of them, and wanted to share a few clips with you. Enjoy.
And then these here are our zucchini and squash plants. Now I planted these way before I planted any of those over there by the barn. And the ones over by the barn are huge. These are tiny.
So what we're seeing is that the things that we're learning from guys like Justin Rhodes and Brad from Big Family Homestead is let the chickens do the work tilling up your garden.
Hi.
Hi.
It's Heather and Katie.
From Goin Batty.
And guess what?
You're making
your white sauce Alfredo sauce. And she's doing it all by herself.
So this is a Thrive Life video, what we're doing. And so we're going to be using several of our ingredients from Thrive Life.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Heather.
And we are on the Ohio River. It's right behind us. We're going to travel down State Route 52 and see all the different sites, all the little towns, and visit some places along the river that had the Underground Railroad.
Yeah, there's a lot of that here in this area. Right now we're in the town of New Richmond, but as you travel down the river, there's a lot of history here that deals with the Underground Railroad.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Heather.
And have you ever just sat back and gone, I gotta have a meatball? Have you? Well, get ready. You're gonna have one this time.
We're making spaghetti and meatballs. They're good.
You know it is.
You're such a dork.
Why am I such a dork?
Because you're just weird.
Making faces in the camera.
Vittoria, 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 Vittoria mio cuore, non lagrima più, è sciolta d'amore la vissevi tu, Vittoria, Vittoria mio cuore.
She did a short live stream, and we are two's watching. Good evening, folks. Going to have an interesting evening tonight. Our guests are Heather and Kevin Goin Batty. They are fellow Buckeyes. And get your questions ready. Put your questions in all caps so that way we can notice it and they will notice it and get those questions answered. There will be 2 trivia questions tonight for the $2 special. We have our printed $2 bills ready to go. And hey, Joy Marie, how are ya? Got to drag some more folks and open the doors and put on the open light. Usually we have front, back seating only. So get your popcorn, get your drinks, and we're going to get this show on the road.
Well, and the other thing here, let me join you here on the screen, is we got a video uploaded that celebrating our 1,000 sub
Hey, Allison.
goal. So
Look, there's Goin Batty.
there's Goin Batty, yeah. So here's the video. If you can maybe put that link up there.
Oh, heavens. No, I can't. Hold on.
Okay, well,
I grabbed the wrong one because I was trying to advertise the main site. There we go.
so anyway, this giveaway will close a week from tomorrow, which also happens to be Sherry's birthday.
There he goes again.
So You got plenty of time to enter. And Allison Butler says you're going Batty. I think
that's because you're up in Texas.
I think
Massachusetts.
We are too. I think we are too. So
no, we're just plain crazy. If you notice, my troll has a girlfriend tonight. My troll, I have this blue troll. I have had him, Kevin, for probably 40 plus years. And he used to have a prayer shawl, which had the Jewish stars on them. And I said, when and if we reach our 1,000 subscribers, he was going to have someone come with them. Well, I found the female Jewish version. So I probably have the only 2 Jewish trolls in YouTube land.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and bring them on. And Kevin and Heather, you are on the screen.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys.
How are you tonight? We're so glad to be here. Thanks for inviting us to be on.
Well, I think it's going to be a great evening.
Yeah, you too.
Hey, bee lady, glad you made it. Allison, what type of work does your husband do? I know I read earlier that he was laid off.
Hey, bee lady. Hey, he's fun.
Well, yep. Kevin, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Explain how you came up with Going Batty.
Well, it was. It actually wasn't. It wasn't us. We were, it's kind of a long story, but we had not intentionally decided to do the YouTube thing. We were looking for people to come around us to help us homestead. And so one day I put an email out for Big Family Homestead and said, hey, we're new homesteaders. We're in the Cincinnati area. We'd love to rub shoulders with you guys and learn. And I gave him my cell phone number to call me, which I didn't expect anything because, it's YouTube.
Yeah.
And we didn't know. And so almost immediately I get a phone call back from Brad, and he invites us to dinner. And we're talking about the whole YouTube concept and the whole idea of YouTube and what you can do with YouTube to share your journey. And I said, I don't even have an idea of how we'd even start something like that. He's like, well, you need to come up with a name. And I said, I'm horrible at that stuff. He goes, well, most of your family's going Batty.
That's right.
And that's where it started.
Yeah.
And so I went that night, and it just kind of bugged me. I'm like, I know I could set up a YouTube channel. I've played with YouTube before. I've done some things in the ministry with YouTube. And I just decided that night I was going to set up a brand new journey for us called Goin Batty. And so we established a YouTube channel that night. And it was done, it even set up a website that night. And Goin Batty was really, I have to give credit to Brad. He came up with the name.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So you actually had really no intentions. I mean, had you been on YouTube as a resource before? Or?
Never. We had put goofy videos up simply for people to access, and that was in that was 5-6 years ago in a different context. It was my job I did it for. We never ever even considered doing it as a family intentionally. And at first Heather was kind of like, well, that's weird. I don't want to do that. And it's awkward, but we started doing it and kind of found our rhythm a little bit. But we really turned to YouTube. Heather turned to YouTube to gain more information about homesteading before we even moved back to Ohio. And when we started seeing all of the resources around it, we're like, well, maybe we should share our journey, and maybe we should take a little bit of time and kind of make these goofy videos and have some fun and let our personality began to shine. And then all of a sudden, I can't remember the first cooking video we did, but it just felt so right. It's still unbelievable to us that we're sharing our journey on YouTube. And there are times where you just have to put the camera down and live life. But we never had any intention of really doing this. It was actually kind of just I don't even know how to explain it. Really, it was just kind of us sorting out this new leg of our journey, a new leg of life, a new part of our life.
We got somebody waving there in the background.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Is it Katie?
Yeah. When he first came to me, he's like, "I want you to do a cooking
Waving
video."
now, waving now.
Who wants to watch me cook? Like, that's weird.
Isn't that crazy how they just seem to flock, you know, at watching whether you're cooking or doing something with your kids or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like having a following.
Yeah. Well, and I told Kevin, I was like, my fear is that people are going to find out we're not that interesting. But I mean, we just kind of keep doing our thing. And like I was telling you earlier, we had a mishap in the kitchen today, and I went ahead and I posted the video anyway, because like I got all of that salsa made, and then the entire bowl of it fell on the floor, and we didn't get to eat. He got to taste it, but we didn't get to eat any of it. So it was kind of, I'm like, oh, well.
Well, one of the things that I think, at least wise it has been this way for me, I'm going to call it a little bit of a stumbling block, is our age compared to the average YouTuber's age. I mean, you guys could be like our kids.
I was going to say, we're like the grandparents of everybody.
But on the other side of that coin, within the homesteading / prepping community, the mindset is of such that age doesn't matter, is what I found.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that is actually, I mean, because I'm learning from, I mean, I'm 40, and so as I am doing the garden and stuff like that, which is predominantly my thing, because Kevin is at work during the day, you know, I'm having to go back and go, okay, what did my grandpa do in this situation? Because he was like a homesteader before, like that was like the cool thing to do. I mean, he just
called it life back
then.
Yes, yeah, that's life.
They called them farmers back then.
Yeah. He was a Tennessee farm boy, and he grew up in the Depression. So, you know, he was very frugal, and he knew how to grow things. And, you know, he planted, He planted pecan trees up here in Ohio, where a lot of pecan trees don't grow. And there's 2 of them in my grandmother's yard right now.
Oh, wow.
And we pick up pecans every fall.
Yep.
We dig through the leaves and pick up the pecans. But I mean,
it's a lot of them too.
Yeah, and he could grow anything. And so I'm having to remember back to what did he do? And then I will go ask my grandma, like, what did he do? And then she would tell me. And, you know, so I'm kind of having to relearn things, because I was there with him as a kid planting stuff. But, you know, when you're a little kid, you don't pay like a whole lot of attention, because I was also doing daisy chains and stuff like that too. But so that, I mean, I find it interesting that we're learning from so many different people and learning different things. Like, I know like zero about bees, and I don't want to kill them. So I've been like binge watching the bee apiary lady and her videos, because I'm like, if I get them, I want them to survive. So.
Well, and there were so many people that I leaned on YouTube that helped me learn how to do chickens. I'm a chicken guy. I love chickens. It's gonna, you know, when we move into an urban environment here in the next month, it's really going to change the dynamic of what we can do. And I'm going to miss having our own chickens. I mean, it's just a blast going out every morning, every afternoon, whenever, and finding eggs and learning. You know, we learned how to eviscerate our chickens. We've learned how to raise meat birds. I've really kind of taken the opportunity to use YouTube to educate myself on chickens, and it is probably my preference. I haven't tried anything else, so the verdict is still out. But it's been a community of people that have
they've commented back to me and said, "Hey, I know what you need to do with your chickens on that." Guys like Justin Rhodes, guys like Patera, Channel Zero. I'm forgetting a bunch. Brad and Krista, obviously.
Yeah.
And those folks have really come beside us, and many more, through their videos, and just encouraged us. Even we had one night where the old Alabama gardener showed up on one of our live chats, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This guy is so knowledgeable about the garden.
I nearly wet my pants. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, but everybody's just real people.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's
we have even learned from people who are younger than us too, because we didn't know how to process a chicken until we went over to the Resistance Chicks house, and they taught us, our entire family, except for our daughter, because she's a little squeamish when it comes to that. Like, she doesn't mind taking care of it and everything, but like sending them to meet their maker, she's not real big on that. So, but I actually knew those girls when I was younger, and Leah and Michelle Leah's probably about 3 or 4 years younger than I am, and Michelle's probably about 6. And so they taught us how to process a chicken.
Yep. Okay. It's funny how things come full circle. Leah was inspired to start the garden that she started because she came over to Heather's one time and saw what Heather's parents were doing in their garden, and she got inspired by that. Am I telling the story right?
She came over. I worked in the youth group that she was in. I was a leader, and she had come over, and this was actually before. So we were in youth group together, and she had come over, and then we had spent the night here and everything. And then I went over to my grandmother's house to check up on her, and and stuff. And we went down into my grandparents' basement. And now my grandfather dug his basement probably, 30 years after that house was built. And so it was built more kind of like a root cellar than an actual basement. And all of the walls were lined with all of the canned goods that we had put up. And she said, I looked at all of those green beans and said, I would like an entire wall of green beans that I grew myself.
Yep.
So,
we have that.
Yeah.
We have a wall of green beans back here.
we sure do. I still have some in the basement.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, Sherry and I both had, I'm going to call professional lives. We didn't have time for canning and gardening to speak of. Picked up the gardening a little bit.
Well, I got that from my mother.
Yeah, we picked that up a little bit, but we didn't get heavy into it until we retired.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I know the first couple of years you didn't want to do the pressure cooker.
No, I wouldn't touch that thing.
But it scared me to death. It scared me to death.
But she has no problem with it now.
Yeah, I had Daryl do it, and I stood behind him.
I remember as a little girl, my grandmother being like, "You can't be near the pressure canner," and like hers was ginormous, and there was always that fear of it exploding. And like when I actually bought one, I'm like, I'm gonna be a big girl now, and I'm going to do it myself. And I've not had any problems with it, but yeah, it scared me to death when I first got it, and I just kind of looked at it. I'm like, okay, now we're gonna be friends, and we're gonna work together, and it's all gonna be fine.
Well, something else that this journey has led you to is a little bit of a business opportunity with your Thrive Life.
Mm-hmm. That's right, absolutely.
So I don't know which one of you wants to address that a little bit more, but would like to hear a little bit about it. Obviously, I think Brad and Chris are the ones that probably
they did
hooked you.
They did. They introduced us to it, and we were over for dinner one night. Brad showed it to me, and I immediately said, "No way, I'm out." It was one of those things that you think about and you go, "Okay, it sounds good, but I don't have time for it in my life." And the more that we talked about it, and it started to come back to me. That night I walked away from it and thought, all right, I'm not going to think about this again. And of course, I thought about it all night, and it kept bugging me. And the basic gist of it is that Heather and I have had, and I talked to Heather about this and just kind of shared, this is what I'm thinking. We've had several times where we've needed a multitude of things. We've needed an extra income stream in our family. We choose to have me home, or to have Heather home and me working, so that we can homeschool our kids. We made that choice, and so there are times when we need to have an extra income stream in a creative way, where we're not stuck to a 9-to-5 job. And we needed a backstock of food. We have oftentimes had some moments where it gets a little scary having 4 kids and no future food to take care of them. And the whole concept that came to me was this idea of future food, where we can take and get food ready for upcoming events that we might need it. Now, we're not preppers per se, but we have had some moments where we've needed some backstock.
Can I share one of those?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so about 7 years ago, when we lived in Ohio before, we had the remnants of a hurricane come through, and it knocked out our power for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We had 0 power for 2 weeks, and it's like you're going through ice, you're throwing away food, and I told Kevin, I said, because we're not like people like, oh, the end of the world is coming and we need to work food, and that's just not who we are. We kind of figured, God's got this and it's in His hands, and but when it came to things like a natural disaster, because we also, when we lived in Maryland, what was it? What Superstorm, was it Sandy, or I forget what it was, but it hit around Christmas time, and that hit, and it knocked the power out again, and and it's like in situations like that, that's where we're thinking, okay, we kind of need a little more than what we got going on here, because and for something that can't go bad, that kind of appealed to me. And it was funny because today I'm making hamburger buns. And I'm looking at, I'm like, daggone it. Like, my chickens hadn't laid any eggs yet, and we had sold all the ones that we had. And I'm out of butter. And so I had to break into our Thrive Life eggs and butter to finish my recipe. And it worked really well. It actually worked really well. I was surprised. Sometimes I'm a little skeptical when I look at the stuff, and I'm like, But so far, I have not had anything that I'm like, nope, not good. No, this isn't good.
Yeah.
So, especially when it comes to eggs, milk, and butter. Those 3 are the ones that surprise me. Because,
and they work.
Yeah, because you're always running out of milk, and you need milk, and you don't go to the grocery store and get a gallon of milk. So this has kind of worked out well for me, because I've used that before too.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the next thing is we love fresh food. I mean, to look at our kitchen table tonight, when we sat down, we had a plate of cucumbers we grew ourselves. We had a bunch of tomatoes that we grew ourselves. We just had green beans. I mean, I'm probably missing a bunch of stuff. Corn, and all of that is important to us. We believe in planting the garden to create future food, which is canning and having stuff on the shelf. But what Thrive does is it kind of answered more than one of our issues, and so we decided to become consultants. We decided to start our own little business so that we could have income stream, so that we could share this food that we appreciate from people, with people. And the product is excellent. It's not Franken food. I think some of the other stuff I've experienced before, and I don't know how you guys have felt about it, has been that doesn't taste like hamburger, or that doesn't taste like chicken, or that doesn't taste like strawberries. And
you'd eat it if you were starving to death, but you'd have to be starving to death.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this stuff we're cooking, we're just incorporating into our life every day, and it tastes like the food it's supposed to taste like. So we have a canned sausage, and it doesn't last in the house. We have freeze-dried bananas. There is a ton of different products that Thrive Life offers, and we're getting to try all of them.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why we went down that road, and have started our own little business called Goin, Batty, Thrive Life. And there's also another there's another part of it, which is our Goin Batty store, where Heather and Katie sell all of the things that they crochet and sew. Katie is an excellent seamstress. We do not work her very hard, so she every once in a while throw apron up there, but we're not doing child labor or anything like that. But when something comes up, she makes an apron and she's able to put that money towards a mission trip or something that she wants to do.
Cool.
And of course, Heather has a ton of stuff that she crochets.
Yeah. My crocheting is my version of the fidget spinner. Like you've got the kids that have those fidget spinners, and I that kind of something to be doing.
Okay, right now we lost your audio for just a moment here.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead and say it. Hello, test 1 2.
Yep.
Hello, we hear.
Okay.
Yeah, now it seems okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Mama Cat. Glad you could make it. I saw back here where there was a question. Oh, and I think Angie answered it. They asked if you could can butter. But somebody asked, Goin Batty something. No, I just didn't.
You freeze butter.
You can't butter. We freeze butter all the time.
Oh, Wayne wants to know what you're growing.
What are we growing?
Yes.
We have tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, 3 different kinds of green beans. I have Blue Lakes, Kentucky Wonders, and then this Barnside bean that I got that has a really pretty, like, orangey red flower on it. And that's gorgeous. Kevin was like, oh, that's beautiful. And then we have pumpkins. We have a couple of volunteer plants. We have 2 zucchini plants that came up in our chicken run. Because we had our chicken run, like we have a garden. We have 2 gardens, one behind the barn and then like our main garden. And the one behind the barn was where our chicken run was. And so that was kind of an afterthought garden. We had more plants and seeds than we actually had garden space. And so we just planted stuff there. And that one has done fantastic. Like it had, I mean, I have a pumpkin plant that is, I don't know, probably 10 feet long. It's
wow.
huge. And then we planted potatoes and cabbage, and our potatoes and our cabbage didn't do well at all. My potatoes are starting to die off and they haven't even blossomed yet. And our onions haven't done well either, but everything else has done pretty good so far. I guess you just have those years where you have things that do really great and then things that are just like,
yep.
So,
Loofah.
Oh yeah, Kevin planted some loofah, which means he just kind of threw seeds out in the dirt, and by golly, they sprouted and they're growing. So,
Mountain Mama, no, he didn't get to try the salsa. They were talking about that before we went live.
no.
Oh yeah.
He did not get to try the salsa.
But we're gonna make some.
Wayne wants to know how many kids you have.
We have 4.
We have 4. Yep. We have a daughter and 3 sons, and she's the oldest. And they keep our lives busy, very busy.
No.
3 boys keep my life very busy. My daughter not so much. Every once in a while with her, but boys are just a different
animal
species. They're different species.
Fun. They're super fun, and my life is never boring ever. And but there are certain things where like I swear like only the mother of boys gets to say like don't chew on your socks, or if your brother's not a piñata, don't hit him when he's on fire stick. And I've also you have to be very, very specific with boys too. You can tell them all these things that they need to do, but you really need to remember to tell them the thing that they can't do also, because that'll be the first thing they do. So.
Yep, I had 2 of those.
Yep.
Yep. I can remember when the older one finally realized his little brother wasn't so little anymore. When he tried to pick on him, and Sean was taller and bigger than him now. Yeah.
Yeah. We even had an incident today where they were helping cut down a honeysuckle bush. one of them hit the other one with a stick, and then the other one ground his face into the dirt. And it was like, no.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. It's almost 9:30, so let's do one of these trivia questions and see if we can get some of the people out here a couple bucks. So.
Sounds good.
We're going to see who can dance the best. Oh, sorry.
Okay. So let me go over the rules very quickly. You can only win once every 4 weeks. You must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as received and recorded on the stream here. And the reason that we put that in there is because your computer at home doesn't follow the same order as what we have here. Your response gets inserted in the middle of things, and that's not the way it always comes.
Angie wants to know, what if we never win?
Well, you just have to keep trying, Angie.
Talk to me later, Angie.
And
we'll figure that out in August.
And you must send us an email with your address within 48 hours, and that email comes to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com.
And if you ask Discover E, you may get your $2, or you may get a letter with a pickle on it. And no $2. I believe I did that.
So anyway, well, the Goin Batty family has a pet. They have a cat, and the first question is, what is the cat's name at Goin Batty?
Pancakes.
Pancakes.
Nope.
Brad.
No, I don't think it's Brad.
It's not Pickles. It's not Cat.
It's not Cat. Though I call him Dumb Cat.
It's not Going Nuts. Harold, no.
There we go. There's a good name, Harold.
No. Dog, Freckles. No. Geez, we might have stumped him.
It's not quite enough, so you know they haven't gotten another tab up to go out and look.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Kitty, no. Can I win a gherkin?
Watch what you wish for there, Discover E. Watch what you wish for.
No.
Cuddles. I like that name, but no, that's not it. Stewie. No, that was the cow, remember? That's
Yeah.
Big Family Homestead's cow.
Our cat is very anti-cuddling. He's very scratchy bitey, not warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Snowball 3.
Doesn't your cat have the same name as, what's that, ventriloquist? I can't even say the word.
Ventriloquist?
He won America's Got Talent one year, and he's out in Las Vegas. Isn't one of his dummies, doesn't it have that name? No, Tara.
I can't think of who that ventriloquist was, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like a cute kitty name. He actually kind of has a people name.
It's like an old man name.
He's got an old man name.
Yeah, because that's what that dummy doll is an old man.
It's not Wayne Newton.
No.
Number 8, one more to go.
Mountain Mama, that is who I'm talking about. It's Jeff Dunham.
Oh, okay.
It's one of his dummies.
Oh, there we go. Wired to be retired.
Yep, there we go.
Walter.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Have a winner.
All right, wired to be retired.
Yep.
Formerly Asher Anna.
Yep. Walter was a name that we adopted it from a guy, from a daughter whose father is an author in youth ministry. And so his name was something else.
It was Jack's, but we have a son named Jack, and I
thought that was going to get confusing.
Yeah.
So I named it after that author, and every once in a while I'll see him at a conference or something like that, and he'll point at me and go, "How's my cat doing?"
Okay. Wired to be retired, send us an email, twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com with your address, and we'll get that out to you. So, I'd like to just touch again on the Thrive Life, because I have a couple questions.
Sure.
Okay.
Best we can, we'll answer everything we can, and if we don't know the answer, we'll figure it out.
Claire's here.
Well,
Hi, Claire.
one of the I guess I look at Thrive Life from a couple different aspects. One is from the prepping side. Okay, now you have a food that you store long term, and you don't touch unless you need it.
Right.
But yet, on the other side of that coin, you and others have talked about incorporating it in a weekly food budget.
That's right.
Yep.
So, at that point, is it still cost effective?
Well, can I answer that?
Absolutely.
For us, it is because what we do is we don't have like our grocery budget and our Thrive budget. He actually, I do grocery shopping for our family for $300 every 2 weeks because he gets paid bi-weekly. And so what we did is we took $50 out of that and put it towards Thrive. So I have $250 for everything that I need to buy at the grocery store, and then that $50 goes towards the Thrive stuff. And so it has been cost effective for us because for the things like I said, like if I run out of milk or butter or something like that, I don't have to go to the grocery store and get it. And usually, like when you go, you always pick up something else that you.
Oh yeah, got to get a Hershey's bar or something.
Yeah. And so I'm not doing that. And for us, it has been a cost effective, and it also has been good because there are certain nights of the week, like Wednesday night when we have our live feed, Tuesdays and Sundays, he's got program at church. And so we have to have something that's really, really quick. And the last meal that I made, the chicken Alfredo with the vegetables in it, that took me less. I told Kevin, I said, it took me about as much time to make it as it did to make that video. And
that looked pretty good, by the way. That looked pretty good.
It was really good. We didn't have a lot of it left. So
and I think the other exciting part about Thrive Life and how it becomes cost effective is you're only using what you need. I ask people all the time, what is the most expensive food in your refrigerator?
And we got all sorts of answers.
Yeah.
Well, it's the stuff you throw out.
Yes, absolutely. Because
Absolutely.
I just had to do that today. I found something that I wasn't sure what it actually was. Shut in the back refrigerator. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, I just did that earlier.
What, science experiments and
Yeah.
And what Thrive Life does is it gives you the ability to keep it for a year. And
After it's been open.
Yeah, after it's been open. So we used butter tonight. We opened it, and we'll be using that, and we have a year to use it.
I have a year to use that butter.
If we don't use it within that year, it'll be very surprising because we use butter for everything.
Yes.
But if we don't open it, it's most items have a 25-year shelf life. Certain cans are certain years. So the larger cans are 25 years. The smaller pantry cans are 10 years. And it really does become very user-friendly, especially if you are running out to get milk every time you run out of it or whatever.
Yeah, and in our house, we're not big milk drinkers. And so we'll actually have milk go bad before I can use it up. And so for us, like I said, that was the one that actually surprised me because I was kind of like, meh, when it came to the milk.
Yeah.
But once I used it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is smart. So.
Well, a little bit of backstory on it. If I'm not mistaken, Brad and Krista got into the Thrive Life through Tiny House Prepper.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay. And Tiny House Prepper's son has a channel called Empty Hammock.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. But what intrigued me was Barry, who is their son, has one of those freeze drying machines.
Yeah.
Right.
And has done some videos on freeze drying.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. And the ability to freeze dry at home on the level that you would need to do it for it to be cost effective isn't really realistic.
That machine was like thousands of dollars. It was pretty expensive, if I remember correctly.
And the amount of variety of food that you can produce compared to what Thrive can do, you know, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole. So I think that Bill has had that conversation. I can't remember what video it's on.
Well, Thrive Life has some freeze dried, but they also have some dehydrated, if I'm not mistaken. So they obviously realize you can't freeze dry everything.
Yeah, carrots is one of those things.
Yeah, no one wants to eat a white carrot. When you freeze dry a carrot, it turns white. And so they decided to dehydrate carrots to keep them that beautiful.
That may be an in thing. You start a new fad.
Yeah, really. Well, I think one of the first things that we tried when it comes to Thrive Life was Heather making chicken broth. We love homemade chicken stock, and Heather does a recipe that's, you know, it's on our Goin Batty Kitchen playlist. And so I said, we want to see if Thrive Life is something we can incorporate into our life, or we're not going to push it. And that's exactly what we did. The first time we got an order from Thrive Life, we made it dehydrated carrots and freeze-dried celery.
And onions.
And onions, right.
Those are the vegetables that I have in mine.
Along with spices and other things that you use.
The spices we got out of the garden because I had them. So I'm not going to buy something that I don't need right now. But and it worked. It actually worked really well. I was very impressed with how it turned out because I was really, really skeptical when he said he wanted to do this. I'm like, okay. So,
well, have you actually? And I've been watching the chat. We've got a number of people saying, "Geez, it's awful expensive," and this and that. Have you actually ever figured it out on a per serving basis, as far as what the actual cost is?
Yeah,
it's comparable on a per serving basis because, like in one of those big cans, because somebody was asking me the other day, they were asking like, how many pounds of chicken would I use? And I said, well, you don't go by pounds, you go by servings. And like in one of those big cans, there's 23 servings of chicken in it. So if you went by servings of, chicken breasts, like you would have to buy 23 chicken breasts to equal that out. And it has equaled out to where it's about the same. And sometimes maybe less if you figure in what you throw away after it's gone bad. So
I did a breakdown with sausage when I first thought we were going to go into this, because I was a restaurant manager for many, many years, and we did a lot of price per serving to come up with what would be the price on our menus.
Sure.
And so I was taught how to break that down, and you break down every plate. I mean, every plate was free game. And what we did is when we got into Thrive Life, I broke down sausage. And it was almost a dead heat. Now, I don't have that math in front of me, and I'm not great at math, so I had to write it all down. But the price per serving for Thrive Life, the price per serving for a log that sits in your freezer was very close, within cents.
Okay.
Now, I would say that Thrive will go cheaper than the sausage, and here's why. We all have 25% food loss in our refrigerator. We talked about it earlier. 25% of our food goes in the trash because we forget about it and it grows mold, and we got to toss it out. But then you also don't have to fight the crowd. When you're out grocery and all of that gas and all of that ham and all the extra things that you find, those are things. We scared her away.
No.
So I just feel like those are some things that help the price be more equal to regular sausage.
Somebody just said I
And
need more
Thrive Life,
zucchini.
is coming out with some new stuff soon, some exciting stuff, and a lot of it has to do with the issue of shipping. It's expensive in the realm of getting it to your house. Well, Amazon's been doing this, and they're getting better at it. Well, Thrive Life's going to be revealing some stuff over the next couple of weeks that'll make it even easier to get involved in it. And so I feel like cost comparatively, yeah, when you do price per serving, it's very comparable.
Okay, fair enough. And maybe perhaps one of the other hidden things that you don't realize, and I don't think you have to, even after a can is open, it does not have to be refrigerated, does it?
Nope.
So that's another savings.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, oh, you have me up there. Wayne, you just mentioned something about zucchini.
Let me put Cher on the full screen here for just a moment. She's got something she wants to show somebody.
Wayne just asked something about zucchinis.
Holy smokes!
Oh, yeah.
This is what was picked the other day. Yep.
That is huge.
Yeah, that's a baseball. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. The seeds, I just did one yesterday. The seeds are huge. So,
Wow.
yeah, this will end up being, it can be a zucchini boat for a family of 15, I think. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I had to show that to Wayne.
Amazing.
That's a pickle.
That's a pickle. Yeah. Discovery, I'll send you this one after I have it marinating.
So, anybody that's in the chat there, if you have an interest, want to know more about Thrive Life, these are the folks to talk to. Make sure you get over their channel, subscribe to them, and they also have a webpage, which is goinbatty.com. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Goinbatty.com.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, the website for Thrive is Goin Batty.thrivelife.com.
And then we have our website too,
which is goinbattystore.com.
Yeah.
So it's goin.batty.thrivelife.com?
Yeah, we'll put it up here in the chat.
Okay. Wayne, a while back, asked how old your kids are.
We have a 13, 12, 11, and 9-year-old. So they're kind of stair steps. And then we were done.
And you want to know how the homeschooling is going?
It's going well. We finished our second year and we're getting ready to go into our third. And I'll tell you, like, if you're looking to homeschool and stuff like that, that first year you have to cut yourself a lot of slack, because like there was a point where I was kind of like, I'm not sure they learned anything, but they did, and it was more me having to, as the primary teacher, going, okay, school like school, because for little boys, it's different. My daughter could sit at a table, do her work and get it done. With little boys, it's much different. They need to get up, they need to move, they need to do things. And I was having them sit there at desk and try to do their schoolwork, and it was making us so miserable. And so we kind of found our rhythm kind of like the last quarter of the school year, our first year. And then last year went really well. I mean, and it went well for us because we had to move, and we could stop and then pick up again and not have to be behind. And, if we got behind, then we just either did a couple of Saturdays where we did school, or did a couple of days during the holiday. And we actually, in the state of Ohio, you have to have 900 hours. And I kept track of all of my hours, and we actually could have been done with school at the beginning of April. But I was kind of like, nobody else is out of school now, so there's no point in my kids. And so we went until the beginning of May. And so, next year we're looking at maybe going to, because we do have a little bit of a hiccup when the school year starts, and we're going to be moving again about when school starts. So my kids will actually be starting school probably the second or third week in September, and then we'll have to make up for that time. But it makes it so that, like, it's nice because when we need to have something done or get something done, or we have what we call S&TS days, which are sick and tired of school days, where we will not do school and we'll go to the library or the park or something like that. And when we have all those other days kind of built up, we're able to do that. And I think maybe this year we're going to look into, since when we start school, there's that kind of hitch of, okay, we got to remember what we've forgotten a little bit over the summer. I'm thinking about maybe doing, like, during the summer, like on Tuesdays, maybe doing English, math, and then on Thursdays doing history and science, so that they don't forget a lot of the stuff that they've learned. So I'm looking into that. But so yes, that's a long answer. To school's done great. So
Kevin, I gave you a wrench here so you can put your Ural up there.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll put that up there. Thank you.
Somebody's asking if we have a P.O. box. Yes, we do.
We do. Just head to our website and it's there.
Yeah, and they do have great, they were just talking about the aprons. Katie makes the aprons. And
he actually made a new one, a new style apron.
We should show them.
Yeah. Hey, Kate, can
we
you
should reveal the newest Katie.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Here on Two Family.
I was looking at your scrubbies the other day, Heather.
Yeah.
I think I may have to buy some and add that to my sink community over here. I think that would be great.
Because if you're not throwing them away, you can throw them in the wash machine and wash them. And I've made, like, ones for the dishes. I've got one that's a flower shape that's for the shower, and just all sorts of stuff like that. So it just gives me something creative to do. I think she has her earbuds in. I don't think she does. So,
I put the wrong website in. Just shows you what I know.
Hey, that happens.
Yeah.
For those of you that are just coming, I know some of the ones here already know it. We just, a little over a week ago, we reached our 1,000 subscribers, and we are doing a giveaway. If you want to join us in that, you're more than welcome to. You need to be a subscriber. You need to go, I'll put the link up here. Just go there, and you have to respond on that video. Then you need to go to any other video, not the one that has that we announced, the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. You have to go to a different video and put 1,000 sub, however you want to do the 1,000. And so far, I already have a page and a half of names.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, let's. I'll tell you what.
She wants to show the apron.
I'm going to put her full screen here.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There you go. So this is her newest apron here, kind of.
Oh, I like the color.
Person. So, but she made this, and it's got a little ruffle on the end where it's striped, and she's got a little pocket and everything. So she's done a great job on these. And like I said, this is a new pattern that she's working with. She's got one that my grandmother bought for her that's an egg gathering apron. It's got like 6 or 12 pockets that go around the bottom of the stick the eggs in. So she's, I think, going to be trying one of those soon.
Very interesting. So are you the one that got her into the sewing?
Actually, I'm not. Sewing does not come easy for me. I really... reading patterns and stuff like that, sometimes they get confusing for me. And
so club.
Actually taught her how to sew. And she got her first sewing machine and everything. And she has been just beside herself happy to teach Katie how to sew. She was actually down at my grandmother's house today learning how to measure someone for a dress so that you can tailor it to fit the person correctly, and all sorts of stuff like that. So she actually learned that from me. That was from my grandmother.
We've worked really hard to teach our kids the resource that is slipping away from us. You know, awesome spiritual and real grandparents that we have around us who have done this and have the experience, that we need to glean from them every single bit of information that we get. Katie really she started really intentionally trying to sew, and she does it because she likes it. I mean, we're seriously not shoving down the road or anything like that. We really like to see our kids choose what they like, and they've done a great job doing that. And Katie's really taken off. Katie crochets as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a question out here. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but how do you suggest to build up a food storage with Thrive?
Start simple. Don't try to buy everything all at once.
Buy the things that you think that you'll like. Like for us, we started with like the blueberries and the yogurt bites. Those were the first two things that we bought because we knew our kids would eat those.
One of the most frustrating things for me when it came to gardening was the idea that we would grow food we would not eat. So Heather planted beets one year. She loves beets.
I love beets.
I can't stand them. But
they make good pickled eggs.
They do.
They do.
Heather loves pickled eggs.
Them.
But if your family doesn't like a particular Thrive food, don't buy it. I mean, buy the stuff you know you're going to like and you're going to try. Start
with maybe the smaller cans too, because they're less expensive. And if there's a recipe, because the Thrive has recipes on their website, and you can go and pick one out and then just maybe pick out the things that are in that recipe. And you don't have to use everything Thrive. Like, you know, I have a back stock of pasta, so I'm not going to buy their pasta right now because I don't need to. I need to use what I have.
But if you're gonna start stocking it away and putting it away, I would say start small. There's no rule or whatever around how much you can buy or how little you can buy. So you could buy one can, have it shipped to you, and put it on the shelf and just leave it there. And just do that once a month or twice a month and grow it slowly. But I encourage you to buy the stuff you like to eat.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever foresee that being mainstream consumer as far as like being able to pick it up in a Kroger's or Walmart?
Yes, I do.
We actually have already seen, like in our Aldi's, we have seen freeze-dried fruit and they're packaged in the baby section for kids because they're easier to eat. They kind of melt in your mouth when you eat them. But like we shop a lot at Aldi, and we've seen them there.
Yeah. You don't need to have a subscription to do Thrive. You can just go to the website and buy the food. It's that simple. It's not you have options. There's a monthly queue, which is going to be changing, and they're going to be offering free shipping. But no, you don't need to have a subscription to buy Thrive. You can just go to the website and buy it.
Did somebody ask that?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry. I'm reading the thing. I can't help it.
I'm not reading it. I'm just kind of going with it.
Sorry, sweetheart.
Well, I know I'm going to be going to the site and getting some more of these snackies.
Those are all.
Because one of the nights on Big Family Homestead, I won the question, and they sent a rice pilaf to us that we tried. And within that box, Krista also sent me a bag of the fruit parfait, the frozen parfait, and the frozen grapes and the strawberries. My two granddaughters had the strawberries gone before I even knew they were open.
Yeah, that was not cost effective.
Yeah. So I've been nibbling on the other two, but I'm gonna go get a bigger can.
Yeah.
They were delicious.
They're very good.
Yeah.
Oh, Coco Noel wants to know if they have dehydrated pickles.
And she wants those for Discover E.
I was looking for dehydrated. I told my mom because our head of lettuce went bad today. And I'm like, they don't have dehydrated lettuce either because we wanted it for our hamburgers.
They do have kale and spinach, though.
Well, yeah, but that's not lettuce for hamburgers.
No, but
a little bit crunchy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's just about time again that
Yes,
I think we can
do one more
do another
trivia
here. So let me bring that up. Okay, go over the rules here one more time real quick. You can only win once every 4 weeks. You must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as received and recorded on the stream here. You must send us an email with your address within 48 hours, and that email comes to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. So let me preface this next question here just a little bit. Kevin used to be in sales at a couple different places. So the question is, name 2 products that Kevin used to sell.
Pancakes. No, Daniel.
That's for everything. Eventually, it's going to be right.
yeah.
He'll hit the right person, and it'll be right one day.
Mm-hmm. Restaurant supplies. Nope, not restaurant supplies.
Now the answer to this was when I featured the 5 videos in the promo. The answer was in one of those videos.
It was, yeah.
No, it wasn't insurance. Mr. Rain, how you doing?
Cats. Toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
Kitchen stuff and shoes.
Name 2 products that Kevin used to sell. And it has absolutely nothing to do with his current occupation.
No, Mr. Rain, you haven't won yet. You have to play first.
Daniel, it was not food.
Now, Heather and Kevin, do you know that Daniel is also in Ohio?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Ashland County. Not too far from us.
Okay. Very cool.
No, it wasn't cows and pigs.
Nope.
But if somebody wants to go search, it's in the 30 Things video.
Yeah, that's great. Sweepers. Soap and potatoes.
Those
No.
seem like a combination. So
Yeah.
potatoes.
There we go, Mr. Rain. Things and stuff. Yeah. Talk about generalization there.
That's a win.
I don't know how to give him a hint on this one.
Well, I told them where they could find the answer.
Yeah, that's true. I'm surprised some of them don't already have the tab opening knowing what we do on Monday nights.
Daniel got my judges asking Google.
Oh, Coco, you
Shoes and cars.
let us have the clue. I mustered up all I can.
Shoes and cars.
One is right, isn't it?
Yes.
Ooh.
One of them is right.
Yeah, that's half right.
Budweiser.
That's right too.
Well, now they have to get them together.
Yeah, they have to get the right.
Somebody has to get the 2 together.
Someone said Budweiser.
Angie. Google's not working for Daniel.
Okay, I'm not seeing it either.
Okay, between Mama Cat and Amy T,
Becky says shoes and bud.
Cars and beer. Angie's Pantry.
No.
Angie's Pantry.
Daniel, Angie beat you by seconds.
Yes.
Budweiser and shoes. Yep. No, not Budweiser shoes. Yeah, I did a 9-month stint as a Budweiser salesman where I drove all over Indiana as a salesman. Then I sold cars when I first got out of I guess I was in my 20s.
Okay. Angie, you need to send us your address via email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. And
or catch me on Facebook.
And we'll just move right on here.
Trying to catch up.
She's been having those. Her and Discover E have been going back and forth with all that.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Discover E is Coco Noel's husband.
Yes.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Well, it's funny because him being a car salesman at one time, like when we go to buy a car, like he knows all of the little ins and outs and tricks and, you know, whatever. And he'll just kind of look at the guy and go, really? Really?
Yeah, Daryl used to sell Hondas.
Yeah. Oh, wow. No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. There's definitely a process to it, isn't it?
Yes, there is. Okay. So was there anything else you guys wanted to enlighten everybody with?
Angie's Pantry's dancing now that she realizes she won.
Oh.
Yeah, don't want to spend that $2 all in one place.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about?
Coco Noel just said, Kevin, you wouldn't steer customers wrong, would you? Oh,
that brain is constantly going, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Well, you know, the only thing that I just feel like I want to share, Walter's in the window right now, is how grateful we are for the community that's come around us as we've learned how to homestead. We've really been... Learning. Well, yeah, we're still learning. I didn't mean to sound finished.
Yeah.
But we have really been encouraged by so many different people. To Family Homestead, we want to thank you so much for having us on and the videos that you guys provide. Yeah. And we feel very excited about what is coming up in our future. And it's interesting because we're getting ready to move to a very urban environment. And we plan on doing that for a couple to 3 years while we save up enough money to buy the forever home that we want and the homestead that we want. And so we're going to be doing a little bit of time urban farming, whatever that looks like. I don't even know if I can tell you what that looks like. We plan on facing the critics head on with this and continuing to say that homesteading is a mindset.
Yeah.
So where you're moving, and you don't have to share this if you don't want to, but are you moving into a town or just next to a town, or?
Well, yeah. What we're doing is we're moving into a rental that we have owned, and the renter is done renting now and moving out. And that house sits in the east side of Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
And you know, it's going to be a very different change because we're moving from almost 2 acres down to a quarter of an acre.
Yeah.
So they'll live on about what we have.
No, we have half an acre.
Half an acre? See, what do I know? All I know is it's not big enough. It's not big enough to have chickens, and not big enough to ignore the neighbors behind us.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely a challenge for us to, you know, plant something and make it grow and do it in that small space and utilize the space that we have. We're going to keep our rabbits, and we're going to have our rabbits there because they're considered a domesticated pet, and so we don't feel the need to sell them. So we'll see how it goes, and of course we'll keep the Goin Batty Kitchen going, the Thrive Life business. All of that will be the same. We'll just be doing it in an environment.
The lady is asking, Mr. Batty, do you have it? No.
We do. We have 5 chickens. We just got done selling off a huge amount of chickens. We had like 25, and we just sold them all down. We have 5 left. Well, actually 9 left. We have 9. We have 9.
5 laying hens.
5 laying hens, and the other 4 are going to be
freezer keep fodder.
Well, or we'll give them away.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to make our default just, you know.
Well, they're not big enough right now to do anything with.
So we're giving them time to plump up and see what we want to do with them. But we have a cat, we have a dog, and we have 6 rabbits.
Yeah.
And we're going to slim down the rabbits just a little bit.
Okay, I also see in here that Mama Cat has said you can only have quail in the city here, which brings up something that I was going to mention anyway here. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have a young lady as our guest from California who just put out a video. I think it was on Facebook. I don't believe it was on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Mm-hmm.
And she is in town. She calls herself the Concrete Kid, Mariah.
I've heard of her.
And she has quail in town because it is, quote unquote, a domesticated animal.
They have them in Columbus because they can have them when we went to the get together last September.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can have them in Columbus. So quail is a possibility for your new location if you have to use a few more eggs, but
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, super tiny. Instead of just 2 eggs for breakfast, you have to have 6.
Well, we had a Bantam hen one time, and it laid those little tiny eggs. I mean, they weren't any bigger than like the top of my thumb. And I used to save them up and then hard boil them because my youngest son loves hard boiled eggs, and he would eat them like popcorn. He'd eat like 7 or 8 of them at a time.
Oh my! The eggs have more protein. I didn't know that, Mama Cat. I didn't have a slice idea.
Her right there.
Hard to crack a quail egg.
She said, Mama Cat says they're easy and the eggs have more protein.
Oh.
Didn't know that.
Well, I heard they're easy to take care of, that, and so on and so forth. Of course, when we went to that homesteading thing, they
she grilled them.
Yeah. They were talking about the meat source of the quail, which really doesn't amount to very much. But it tastes like chicken. What can I say?
I'm going to touch it.
Lady, we are moving at the around the 1st or 2nd week of September is when we're gonna the renter moves out at the end of August. We're gonna go in, we're gonna clean everything, and then we're gonna start moving into that house around the 1st or 2nd week of September.
Okay. Now, are you going to make that a one trip move, like 2 families do?
2 family? You mean
or like
big family?
Big family. There's too many families here.
Yeah, we're not moving again, Daryl.
It might be a little hard to do that because we have some of our stuff here and then some of our stuff in storage. So I think what we're going to do is get our stuff out of storage first, and then
it'll be a different process.
Yeah.
Since it's a little more local within driving distance, there's a little bit more freedom we have to get the place cleaned up first before we move into it and then move our stuff. We have the majority of our stuff is in a storage bin, and for the last 1.5 years we've lived with family. So getting that stuff back out and being able to have our own space will be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's the family thing is nice, but it's also nice to have your own.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, it's been just a little bit over an hour, but I have a few more questions if you guys are willing to stick around.
Sure.
Can you take care of this just for a little bit so I can start getting kids to settle down?
Sure.
So I'll be right back, though.
We got a couple of them that got
We had some of them that if you don't tell them to go to bed, they won't go to bed.
Oh yeah, we have a 12-year-old granddaughter like that.
And they get a little bit grumpy, believe that or not, in the morning.
So
Nah,
I don't know if you can answer this or not, because the question goes back to the garden area, and I'm not sure that's your forte, but
We might have to go for Heather.
Yes.
It seems to me that I saw on at least one of the videos that you guys did not have much success with the Eden style gardening, the wood chips.
Yeah, it didn't work out for us. Something that we did, something in the wood chips just didn't seem to work for us. And I think what we're learning is that the soil, it just couldn't have the wood. It's not, and the old Alabama gardener explained this to us, and we kind of listened and then didn't listen. He said, don't let those wood chips get mixed into the soil because it'll create the wrong pH balance for your soil. And we didn't, but they ended up getting mixed up into it anyway, and it created a problem for us. And I think that's really why our potatoes didn't take off. Now, I don't know that we did it exactly the way that the Eden
Back to Eden
gardeners do it, but I know that our version of it didn't end well. And so we are kind of turning around and looking at the garden through a little different eyes of create some sort of cover crop, whether it be a wheatgrass or ryegrass or regular grass, and then plant underneath that, till that up, plant underneath that after it has time to rest. Heather's back; she can answer that.
I've got them. I've got one little boy that wants to sleep outside under the stars tonight, so we're trying to negotiate that. But we found that. Well, the other thing that was told us too is that those wood chips need to age. And we didn't know that.
Right.
Like they need to sit for a good 2, maybe 3 years before you actually use them. We didn't know that. We had a tree that came down. We just chipped them up and we moved them onto the garden. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe next year we'll probably take them all off, put them in the compost pile, let them sit for a while. And then what we had been doing is we had been taking when the garden was done, we would put compost down, and then we would put compost down, and then cardboard, and then put straw on top of it to kind of keep our ground, so it was being fed and it was being covered and everything. Then that cardboard and stuff would break down, and then in the spring we would till it. We put more compost down, and then plant it. And that did really great last year. And it did well this year in the areas that we did it where we didn't put the wood chips. Mm-hmm. So I think we might stick with that because that's what's working for us. And it's just different for everybody, I guess.
Sure. Sure.
I wanted to try something new, and I did, and it totally didn't work for us. So anything that's planted in those wood chips is stunted and small and not wanting to grow. So everything else is doing really great.
Well, our squash absolutely loved the wood chips, as you saw.
Yeah,
but that's been a lifesaver for us. Is we've done the wood chips, and
we have another stack of wood chips on the side of the house that I'm sure some neighbors will disapprove and contact the township.
Well, that's where the tree service put them. I didn't buy them.
Yeah, they were free.
So
can't get much better than free.
But I've got probably 5 yards of them moved out. Another 30 or 40 to go. So, but anyway,
when you use your wood chips, do you lay them down on top of it, or how do you use them?
When I first do an area, I put cardboard down and cover it with wood chips, and I try to make it about 6 inches.
Okay.
About 6 inches of wood chips. And one of the things that I've done different is, as far as the actual planting area themselves, has a very, very thin coating of wood chips on, if at all. But the wood chips are definitely in the walkway, and that retains the moisture throughout the entire garden.
Okay.
And it works very well from that. So I'm going to say our wood chips are primary for walkways, but they're also there for it does get mixed in between the animals and just in planting and kicking things around and our cats and everything. So, but no, that's
smart.
We put up.
Have grass paths in between. We didn't till the entire thing. We left grass in between because we didn't want to track the dirt and the mud that, or more dirt than what we do. So we have the grass that grows in between, which actually wood chips might actually be better, so that way the weeds aren't getting in there too, because that grass wants to creep into where the dirt is.
Do you see that?
So,
no.
Keeping it Dutch. Thank you.
Way to go.
First one.
Well, that's awesome.
Thank you very much.
We're a huge fan of Keeping It Dutch. That is a great
Yeah.
channel.
Yes, I am too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I sent you a private message.
And he
Dutch.
said, yeah, and he said that on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What got Kevin watching him was when he built his house as a pole barn. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, Heather, this is brilliant! Why haven't more people thought about this?" And ever since then, he's been following him.
That's right.
But B Lady, we are going to do a lot of container gardening and like raised beds and stuff in the area that we're gonna be doing. I actually had somebody send me a book on square foot gardening, and I've been reading that. And so we're going to do a lot more raised beds and figuring out, okay, where does this yard have the most sun, and what. Yeah. And I'm going to. It's funny because all the stuff that's planted in those front flower beds, I planted those, and they're all ornamental flowers, and they're beautiful and stuff like that, but they're not edible. So I'm going to leave some for my pollinators, but I'm going to pull a lot of that stuff up, and I'm going to plant my sage and rosemary and thyme and basil and all of that in that front flower bed. So I can have stuff, because sage when it blooms is really pretty. I can have pretty, but I can have useful too. So I'm excited about doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some trees to take down too.
Yep.
Do you do all the upkeep yourself, or do you hire it done? I guess. Contrary to what we show on the videos, I do have a certain amount of ability to repair things. I'm not necessarily good at building things from scratch, but I know how to install toilets. I've done some plumbing. I've done electrical.
He redid my kitchen.
In this particular house that we're moving back to, that was our starter home when Heather and I first got married, and we redid the kitchen in that. And so I do have enough skill to be dangerous and to be able to do a lot of the repairs and a lot of the upkeep.
Well, this is something else that a lot of people, they get the idea of wanting to be homesteaders, but that's just another skill set that you have to add to your arsenal. In addition to, you have to acquire various tools to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. We were talking with the Resistance chicks the other night, and Kansas on the Resistance is agreed to help me learn how to weld. I never knew how to weld before. I've always wanted to learn, and there goes our community again, coming around and teaching me something new. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited to learn that trade.
Daryl welds.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Well, he used to build his own race cars.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, he used to race late models.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Well, it's interesting because I always find, like, when something needs to be repaired, like, he's at work. And so I've had to learn how to do, like, the other day we had one of our kids was mowing the yard, and the lawnmower ran over an extension cord, and it's a riding mower, and it has like a 50-inch deck on it. And the extension cord got all caught up in the lawnmower, and I had to figure out how to take the lawnmower deck off and unwrap the extension cord and then put the lawnmower deck back on and stuff like that. And that's one of those things where it's like, there are certain things that I believe like a woman physically can't do. I mean, she doesn't have the strength of a man. But then there are certain things that a woman's got to learn how to do, because if she's home by herself with 4 kids, and you need to know like how to shut the water off, how to make sure you can turn the electricity off to the house. You need to know where the toolbox is, so if the sink is leaking, you can fix the sink, and things like that. And I mean, those are just some of the things that I've learned over the years. And it's funny because I learned it a lot from watching my mom, because my dad worked a lot when I was a kid, because she was a stay-at-home mom also. And my dad was very handy. I mean, my dad could, build anything. And when he passed away, it was like, okay, so, I've got to help my mom make sure that, she had an issue with her sink. And so I was helping her with that. And, and Kevin was at work and he couldn't come home to help us with it. And so, those are some skills that I'm learning now, is stuff like that, learning how to do small repair stuff.
Well, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with learning those skills too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I find that I have a sense of pride once I've learned something like that, because it's like, yeah, I can do that now. Like, I can do that now. That's okay. I'm good. I can do that now. So.
Daniel, that name sounds familiar. Do you mean, is it Miser or Miser? I'll let you respond to that while we go on here.
Okay, I'll watch.
So, anyway, yeah, I was kind of curious about that, because you've not really shown much on any of your videos as far as what I want to say, construction, repair.
Yeah. Well, it'll come. It's just this particular place where we've been living hasn't needed a whole lot repaired. So, and there are those times where you go, oh, I just fixed that. I should have reported that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, we had a leaky pipe back in the wintertime where something had frozen, and I fixed it, and it was really before we had gotten into the whole YouTube thing in depth. And now I look back at it and go, oh, I totally should have made a video.
And a lot of times it's that in the moment thing. Like when a pipe bursts, the last thing you're thinking is, I need
grab
to
the camera.
This. It's like, oh, there's water everywhere.
Well, and to film it, people don't understand this, that do not create videos, but it's not only the effort and thinking about to do it, but that also makes the job take longer.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I guess I like to just get the work done. I continuously do a lot of work that I don't record.
Yeah.
So, and then Sherry shows the results afterwards.
Yeah.
Is what she does.
Good.
But
that's good.
So
Tape and a butter knife. There we go. Duct tape can fix anything.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute there, Faith Abounds. I don't know that I'm a master of aggravation to share. We have a good dynamic, I believe. I think that's a good way to put it. We have a good dynamic.
Dynamic?
Dynamic.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
If you say so. We're in front of too many people.
Hey, Mr. Rain, you're...
Miser from Holmes County, race late models and tough auto body.
Yes. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Actually, I know his son, Mike Miser. So that's for Daniel Gosma Judge.
Very cool.
Yeah, Daryl used to race dirt tracks here in town. Yes, B lady, he is a perfectionist. Bingo. He used to at a local dirt track, and then at Wayne County, and in Lakeville, and then other areas in Ohio.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. Then he came home one day, and apparently his then wife had sold his car. Mm-hmm. Nice of her, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it was
long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago. So anyway, moving on.
Going Batty wants to know if you're going to make some salsa, more salsa soon, Heather.
Well, yeah, I hope so. I've got tomatoes coming in that probably within like the next 3 or 4 days they'll be nice and ripe and everything. But yeah, that was like an epic fail on our part. I'm like, no, it's all on the floor.
So, you folks have any hobbies that you do? I mean, you go golfing or?
Well, I'm not much of a golfer. I went golfing once with my senior pastor, my boss, and he never invited me back. So I just took that as a sign I wasn't supposed to get into it. There's nothing more frustrating for me than hitting that ball around with the little club and the thing. But, you know, I think our hobbies, we've got a lot of different kinds of stuff that we do, and they're tied very much into the homesteading life. You know, my hobby is chickens and learning about the things that we're doing on homesteading.
I think for me, like I've taught myself how to crochet. I had to teach myself how to crochet because I'm left-handed, and everyone that I know that crochets is right-handed. And if you've ever tried to have a right-handed person teach a left-handed person something, it can be very, very frustrating. Like
my daughter is left-handed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like my mom was saying, me and my older brother are both left-handed, and my younger brother is the only right-handed one.
Wow.
And she said she had a horrible time teaching us how to tie our shoes
Mm-hmm.
because she would sit right beside us and show us, and for us that's backwards. So she learned that she had to sit in front of us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I crochet, and I also before I had children, my occupation, I was a florist. And so when it comes to like floral design and decorating and stuff like that, I actually really enjoyed doing it. I was one of those few people that was fortunate enough to get a job that they liked and that they were good at. And so that's what I did. And so as we get ready to move into this house, I'm starting to get excited about decorating my own place and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, doing like, I'm going to do a couple wreaths that'll go on the door and, you know, like decorate the house for Christmas, which, oh my gosh, our Christmas tree is way too big for the house that we're in now. So I just thought of that.
It's never too big.
We have like this 10-foot Christmas tree, and I think the ceilings are only like maybe 8 feet in this house. So.
How tall is Michael's? Michael has like a 12-foot?
Yeah, it's 12 foot.
14-foot Christmas tree?
It's either 12 or 15. I'm not sure which.
They have one of those ceilings that go from
Cathedral
the first
ceiling.
floor, up to the second floor, yeah. Coco, Discovery, thank you so much.
Yes,
that was very
thank you very
kind of
much.
you.
Thank you.
And Kevin, can you post your YouTube channel again?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And the question is up, have you processed your own chickens yet?
Yes. We have
Homesteading with the cases. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We've gotten rather efficient. You know, when we have birds that we feel like have plumped up well, it's game on. And we don't have all the equipment we need yet. I'd like to get a full plucker instead of doing it by hand. But right now, I just get a really good pair of work gloves on and defeather the chicken. And I've taught my boys how to do it. And
I can eviscerate one pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not, again, like I'm like my daughter. I don't like to go make it meet its maker, but when it comes to pulling its insides out, I'm really good at that.
Just reach in and come here.
Yep. Just kind of, I think because my hands are smaller than his, like I can just reach in there and kind of scoop everything out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a little easier.
Yep. I have a hard time with that. My hands are so big, you know.
Yeah.
But I get in there. I get it taken care of. It's just one of those things that it's mechanical. You know, I've just memorized how to do it. And so we've set up a little processing station. We keep the water running really well, so there's no gross factor. other than, you know, you're gutting a chicken.
Yeah.
But it's clean, you know. And so I've learned a lot from a lot of different guys. Justin Rhodes is one of the guys that we learned from. But really, ultimately, the first people that ever gave us the hands-on experience were the resistance kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we had the opportunity to actually meet Justin.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, for that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, when
And
he was here in Ohio.
That was pretty neat. That was pretty neat.
We thought he would have more people there than what he did. There were more people at Brad and Krista's get together than
Really?
than Justin Rhodes had.
But
That's surprising.
But
you keep in mind it was on a Thursday.
It was on a spur of the moment.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think that had a lot to do. But it was very nice. I mean, there, you know, like the get together we had here with Brad and Krista, there was more food than anybody could deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he didn't announce. I don't remember him. I don't remember him talking a lot about the fact that he was coming to Ohio, because there certainly would have been a lot of people in Central Ohio, I think, that would want to come and meet him. I know I would have been there.
Mhm.
He actually talked about it.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
We couldn't pull off the drive.
Yeah, it was
what, 2-hour drive for us?
it's a 2-hour drive for us. Yeah,
Oh yeah, then it would have been longer for us.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it was definitely Amish country.
yeah, they're still learning what roads are out there.
Yeah, it was, some of it was off-roading. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean there wasn't even gravel; it was just dirt.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it was definitely in the hills of Ohio. So
Yeah, and then the Tara and Mike from Living on a Dime.
Oh,
yeah.
He was in Colorado this past weekend, so they met him. They met him Saturday, and then I'm not sure because I didn't catch it. Apparently, they're going to. I don't know where they're going to be. Justin Rhodes and Rebecca are going to be next Saturday, but they said they don't know if they're just going to see him again or if he may think they're stalking him because they may go back to his next get together.
yeah, see, Mountain Mama here says living on Dime met them, which
Mm-hmm.
you were just talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the video and they had the picture.
And Howard, I don't know what to say.
That's crazy. I know we've lost a few.
Well, we've lost 20 at a time before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube is crazy.
But that's one reason I wasn't in any real big hurry to do the video.
Yeah, just to make sure we were at least a little bit over.
So, all right.
Tawana, the dirt roads are everywhere here in Ohio also.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You get out in the country and there's,
Mhm.
and like you say, especially out there in like Holmes County and in Amish area, there's a lot of just plain, just dirt roads.
Yep.
Heather, where are you originally from?
I am from this area that we're in, from the Cincinnati area. I actually grew up in this house. So it's kind of like come full circle.
Okay.
I'm originally from the southern, like southwestern Ohio area, around from a suburb of Cincinnati.
Okay. And Kevin, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, but I was born in Virginia, near in Newport News.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
My dad was in the military. He was he was in a submarine.
Ooh.
Well, that's different. I mean, obviously, you don't hear that very often.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my parents were divorced when I was 2, and we moved back up to Dayton and lived with my grandparents for several years as my mom got back on her feet. But he stayed in the Navy about 5 years, and maybe longer than that after they divorced. And so he did a lot of time in a sub. I mean, they traveled from California all the way around to North Carolina to all over the place.
Okay. So your guys' plans are you're going to move back to the property you own and live there for a relatively short period of time, save some money, and then you've mentioned your future homestead, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Future forever home, is that how you straight?
Yeah.
Our forever home.
Forever home? Have you, I mean, do you have, obviously you have some sort of ideas, but are you thinking geographically? Are you thinking in Ohio? Are you thinking?
Yeah.
I think probably like Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. We have family here in Ohio.
This is the first time hearing you say this.
In that kind of. My
there's one of those funny faces Heather was talking about. You know, him being a dork.
My mother is 88, and and she's a widow, and my mom is too, and I have two brothers, but they have families too, and we lived in Maryland for 5 years, and we found out that we kind of need our family around us. So if we're probably more than like 2 hours away, we're not going to be functioning so well. It was really hard to be out there on the East Coast, and it's not a bad environment, but it's just different than if you're in the Midwest. Sure. People are different, and the pace of life is different, and we just did not. It was not for us, and we came home, and we just. I know the Midwest. I understand the Midwest and its people and stuff, and this is where I'm comfortable. Mm-hmm. It's funny because I tell Kevin, he's like, I want to go out and visit the Grand Canyon, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. I'm like, I'm fine. I'll just stay home. You're in my little hominess.
You're just a Four Seasons kind of gal.
I am, yes.
Well, there's all these places I want to visit, but I would never live there. I think the Midwest is always home. Ohio will always be home. And as we look towards our future forever home, we're looking at a place where we can do something. What's the word I'm looking for? Just a modest place, not a huge.
We don't need like hundreds of acres or anything like that. I mean, probably if we had like 5, that'd probably be good for us. That I think that's where we kind of want to go, something that's big enough for us to grow things, to have animals and stuff like that, but not so big that, it draws him away from his occupation and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think that's where what we're kind of looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when Sharon and I first got married, we looked at some places. We wanted to be out a little more. Couple places with 10, 12 acres and stuff, but it wasn't financially feasible for us to do that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then as we got a little older, we had some other issues that took precedence, and we had the opportunity to buy this place. Mm-hmm. And my reasoning behind it was, geez, we're out of town. I'm familiar with the township that it's in. The only, I'm going to say the only little error, I guess, on my part is that we are in a plotted subdivision, which has rules that I was not aware of. But yeah, we can burn here. We can burn outside. We have our own well on the property, on septic system. So I mean, we're out of town, but we're just not quite out of town enough to be free enough to do a few things that we would like to do.
Yeah,
sure. Well, I think there's a law going on in the state of Ohio about having backyard chickens. Mm-hmm. Not sure where
Hold on, I will tell you what it is.
I'm not sure where that is in the process of being voted in or anything like that, but it certainly would free up people. I know there are many major cities that are okaying backyard chickens. There's rules around it, of course, like no more than 3 or a certain amount of
or no rooster.
No roosters. And I think it's important that as we homestead and as we keep our eye on the culture and what they're doing and support those state laws, because Those could open up opportunities for us to do some stuff in the urban environment or in a suburban or environment or whatever, where, you know, maybe we didn't get the opportunity before. And I mean, having 3 chickens is ultimately no big deal, and they're great eggs. They're great little pets. I mean, if, you know, not every chicken goes on the chopping block in the Goin Batty, channel. We have 2 chickens in particularly that I consider pets. And we've had even more that we kind of look at and go, oh, I could never do that to that chicken. I love that chicken.
Yeah.
We've had a Silky that would sit right beside me. And so, you know, I think there's some laws coming. I don't know what
it's Ohio House Bill 175 is what it's been introduced and stuff, and it deals with if you have a quarter of an acre, you can have up to, like, what was it, 3 to 5 chickens. You may be able, if you have a half acre, you can have a goat, you know, things like that. So I've been kind of keeping an eye on that to see, like, but, you know, like, the government moves at the speed of frozen molasses, so you never know what it's going to be.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, and our township says we have to have at least an acre before we can have chickens. And so the lot next to us is empty. Well, the young man that has the house that adjoins that lot next to us over here on the front, which is off Route 42, owns all of that. His grandmother gave him that, the house and the lot, the empty lot behind it. And he's trying to sell his house now. So I asked, you know, how much, you know, to sell your lot. That way we could have
which is non-buildable. Has
you can't build on it.
Down through it.
Yeah. $15,000. It's not even a half an acre. $15,000. I go, yeah, right. Good luck.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what, it's been a little while here. I don't want to monopolize their whole entire evening. They may have something they want to do.
Mountain Mama, I think we can have quail, but I don't know. Probably. But I think we have friends down in Columbus. They got quail earlier this year, but they have them inside. I don't think I want birds like that inside. No, thank you. No. We have 5 dogs that sleep in our garage. It's not like a freezing type garage. That's where their kennels are. They're huge dogs. You see Smudge, and I could just see they'd have the quails for, you know, midnight snack.
Yeah, if y'all go over to our Facebook page, you can see Smudge as a blanket.
Yeah. And I'm the only one he does that to. Yeah.
You're the only one silly enough to let him.
That's true. Well, that's true. Yeah. He'll be 2 in September. He's the youngest, and he is the biggest, and he still has at least a year to grow. Yeah.
Wow. So anyway.
I was thinking that too, that quail would smell, because I know, like, chickens.
Yeah.
I mean, chickens, well, if you don't clean them out regularly, they stink. And if you had quail in a very small confined area, I would think that you'd have to be cleaning that thing every day to keep it from stinking.
Well, here in 2 weeks, we have Mariah on.
Yeah.
She has quail in town, somewhere in California.
Yeah. There's another great channel out there that's started the quail thing, and that's Lone Star Living. He's been a friend of our channel as we've gotten up and just took on quail too.
Jonathan.
You need to hear from him.
Yeah, in an apartment.
Yeah. So. If you guys haven't checked out our channel,
he's a good guy. We like him a lot.
Yeah, I've caught some of his live streams. So I wanted to thank Keeping It Dutch.
Yes.
And
Coco and Discover E.
Coco and Discover E.
Thank you very much.
Wanted to thank both of you very much for those super chats. So,
bee lady, you never have to clean bees; they never stink. You can't get close to bees.
So, folks, I think we probably ought to maybe call it an evening. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
We had a great time. Thank you for having us. I'm actually kind of surprised when you guys asked us if we wanted to do this. I'm like, they have so many people that know so much stuff, and we're so new at this. I'm like, we'll just make it up as we go.
Well, this is all part of the community.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I love about this is that you have, people like us who aren't very big channels, and then you have some of these other, like the Weekend Homesteader and Living on a Dime and stuff like that. I mean, you just have a different variety of all sorts of people, and I just love that. And I find new people watching you because we're relatively new to this. I'm like, oh, those people are interesting. Let's subscribe to them.
Well, I guess I can put a plug in for next week.
When we got to the get together there from Brad and Krista, I mean, I knew who you two were right away because we watched your videos.
Yeah,
and that was half the fun, knowing them. I know them. I've seen them before.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like when we went to Appalachia conference, we didn't have to tell people who we were. We had it plastered on our backs.
Yeah.
All they had to do was see that dog. They knew who we were.
But there's some great people in the chat right now too that we didn't get a chance to say hi to, and we just want to say hi to all of them. Old Fashioned Life, you guys are always on our chats and always watching our videos. Angie's Pantry, there's
Coco
a lot.
Noel.
Coco Noel, Discovery.
Yeah, they're always there too. We really appreciate.
We're just
their
really
support and
grateful
stuff.
for you guys watching our videos, and thankful that you guys invited us to be here tonight.
Well, we're glad you accepted because it's been a fun evening, and
if you're not subscribed to Goin Batty, please do so.
Yeah, and if you're hungry, get some Thrive Life from them.
Yeah, you're not going to get any salsa because it ended up on the floor, but.
No.
But yeah, the great people, and like I said, we met them when Brad and Krista had the get together. We met them, so there, and met her mother. So
yeah,
great folks. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So thank everybody for coming. Hope everybody has a great week, and we will see you next week with He Provides Homestead.
He Provides Homestead. Chico.
Chico.
Awesome.
Yep.
I love her. She's like so crafty, and I'm like,
yes. Yep.
Yep. He Provides Homestead is next week. So
this is something new they've never done. So we're going to be walking them through it this coming weekend and that, and it should prove to be very interesting.
So thanks everyone for coming. You have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.